Hello, Supercoaches. We have liftoff. Yes, the game has launched for 2026. Everyone can get in there now and start picking their teams, not just subscribers. So get in there now, pick your side. We're talking about top guns this week in our Supercoach, and I've got a couple of top guns on the panel as well with Wilson, Smith and Jett Hatton. I'll start with you, Wilso. Have you got in and started picking your team yet?
Yep. Well, anyone who had the subscription and was using the team picker already, you can just transfer what you had across. So I just did that and started setting up my draft leagues already and sending out the league codes to all the boys to start getting in.
Nice. I've already joined my draft league as well. Jett Hatton, how's your team shaping up?
Yeah, mate. Picked the team over the last few weeks or so. There'll be a team reveal later this week.
Yes, and Wilso too. You can check out.
So we'll have that, but yeah, it's coming together quite nicely. So yeah.
Yep. Nice. So we're talking top guns today. These are the guys that you're spending all the cash on. We've got some really good deals running at the moment. SuperCoach Plus, $29.95 for the year. That's our stats product. You can get projections, most popular players, a whole bunch of things. $29.95 for the year, but you actually have a free trial now until the end of round 2. So I suggest you have a fiddle around with that and see if you want it. If you want articles and the stats, you got to get a code subscription, and the deal on that is ridiculous. Code subscription, $1 for the first 2 months. So you could realistically sign up now for $1, go for 2 months, which gets you through to round 1, like the hardest parts of the Supercoach season. Then cancel if you would like to. It only costs you $1, but I don't think you will. The churn rate on that subscription is very good. So test it out, see how you go. The other deal there is 12 months up front for $59, so 16 cents a day. Absolutely ridiculous. So we're speaking about top guns today, the guys that you're spending the big bickies on. We're going to run through the first 2 in that category picked in our teams. We haven't even conferred on this yet, so this is going to be a surprise for what Wilson is going to say next.
Well, I'm actually doing a bit of a different strategy this year, and I'm going cheaper at a few positions that I normally go big at. So my first 2 pick this year are actually both front rowers, and I'm going Payne Haas and Kalyn Ponga. I had Terrell May in there, but I forgot that the West Tigers had the bye round 1, so I've swapped him to Payne Haas. And yeah, I'm keen to go big on front row this year, so don't really have any cheapies there. It's all guns and mid-ranges.
I'm actually the opposite this year. I'm going small on the front row just because I know that they're not going to differ too much in price, and I'm going to go large at centre wing. I've also got 3 cheapies in the halves, which does not look good. It just looks really strange when I look at it, but it's a genuine option given how many cheapies there are in those positions this year. Wilson and I did the Cheapie Bible podcast last week, so check that out. We went through the top 20 most popular guys in the cheapie range. Jett, who's your first gun picked?
It's like Wilson. It's not a popular position that I've gone to, but Blake Brayley for mine. So all the Zone can tick off. Jett's mentioned a Sharks player on the bingo card, but he was just a standout last year, especially after round 14 when there was a massive focus on the Sharks to play through Blake Brayley. So I was looking at the runs from dummy half last year. He had 158. The next closest was Harry Grant, 134, and then Wade Egan, 114. So there's a massive discrepancy there of how far he runs it. 66 price average he's on, but after round 14 he was like average 81. So we're getting him quite a good discount. I think you can lock him in. He'll play Origin this year, so you won't get him over that. But yeah, I think he's a pick and stick. And then my second guy was Payne. Well, how can't you go with Payne Haas?
Well, I'm actually going slightly different at hooker. I do like Brayley. I think he's going to have a really good year. But for me, Harry Grant, I was going to avoid him to start the season because I hate buying guns who are coming back from short pre-seasons, which Grant is because he played the Ashes with the Kangaroos. But you look at the schedule of the Storm to start the season, and it's really, really good. Also, they're losing players left, right, and centre there. Jerome Hughes is coming back from a shoulder reconstruction. They've lost Pappenhausen. So I think that a lot of the attack over the first little bit against easy opposition is going to come through Harry Grant. So he's my first guy picked. Second guy picked, Scotty Drinkwater. A little bit strange. Look, fullback is a red-hot position. There are so many guys here. But you look at his schedule, and it's sensational to start the year. It's the easiest draw in the competition by a long, long way. I'm going to take a bit of a punt and avoid the popular guys like Ponga, Reece Walsh, Tedesco. Won't be going there. I'll be going with Scott Drinkwater, plus the two guys that everyone has in Sua Fa'alogo and Keano Kinney. Thoughts on Drinkwater?
Yeah, I really like him. I've got him in my team as well. And like you said, they've got a good run. He's got, all the fullbacks, all the gun fullbacks have ridiculously high ceilings, but he's got the goal kicking as well. So I think his ceiling is higher than most, and I've got him in my team as well.
Yeah.
Heaps of content out at the moment. I know the game has only just launched, but we've been doing content since October. Literally, when the season finished, we did our first podcast. We got this is our 4th podcast of the year, so check out all the back catalogue. Plus, up to date, Cheapie Bible fully updated. All the top cheapies in the comp ranked. My team's up. Jet's team's coming very shortly. Wilson's team's coming very shortly. Your draft rankings are getting a big update in a couple of days too. You've got the most popular players, predicted teams, everything you can ever think of, all in the news section of the app. Now, for this segment, we're just going to run through the 20 most popular guys in the gun category. We're saying 550k and above. We're not going to be particularly strict on that either, because if there's a guy worth talking about, we'll just talk about him. First up, Payne Haas. He is the most popular player in the gun category. There are more popular players like Jonah Pezzett in the cheapie category, but for guns, Payne Haas is number 1. Might get you to elaborate on Payne for us.
Yeah, well, I started the season last year without him, and it just completely hurt me. So I'm not going to make the same mistake this year. Even though he's had a big campaign, obviously the finals run and all that, but he's their best player. They're a bit lighter on middles this year with Kobe Hetherington leaving, so they're going to be leaning on Payne a bit more. How can you not have him, really? There's no negatives against him. What do you think also?
There's a chance if he has a slow start, he could drop a bit of cash and you could get him in cheaper later on. But from what we saw last year, I don't think that's actually that likely. His ceiling, his floor is just that high that I don't think he will actually lose too much cash. So I'm just starting the year off with him because I don't want to miss out on the chance that he does just start big and stays big for the whole season.
Look, I just don't like spending big at prop because you can get them at the same price for basically the entire season, whereas other positions are going to be going up and down, and I particularly want to get on the guys going up, of course. Also, in that position, you've got guys who are underpriced in the gun category. We'll get to him in a sec, but I think Keon Koloamatangi is underpriced by about 10 points per game, so I'm going to go for him ahead of him. Plus, then you look in the mid-range, I think Jermaine Hopgood's really cheap as well, so they'll be my 2 starting props to start the year. They will go up in price, potentially become Payne Haas pretty soon in Hopgood's case, whereas Koloamatangi I'm thinking is an all-season keeper at this stage. Latrell Mitchell, second most popular gun in Supercoach this year. Do you agree, Wilso?
Yeah, I've got him in my team at the moment. I think the price is good. My only real concern is we don't really know what position he's actually going to play in real life NRL yet. We've got him in as just a centre wing at the moment, but there is still a chance he could play at fullback or even play in the halves, according to some of the mail. So, but I think just at that price, regardless of where he plays in that team, I think he's going to be good. So I've got him in, and I think I'll be sticking with him.
Looking purely at the numbers, he is based on an average. His price is based on an average 18 points less than his previous worst season of the last 5 years. So you're getting him really, really cheap. I really don't care if he's at centre wing or he won't be at fullback, centre wing or 5'8", wherever it is. I think Latrell, with the goal kicking, which he will have, is so underpriced that you just have to get on.
I've got him in my team, but he could be a really nice antipod. His health concerns are a real thing. He rarely plays more than 15 games in a season, and if he picks up an injury early on, and we've got a bunch of other things that we're trying to do, some cheapies that we might have missed out on, people are trying to move Latrell out of their team because say he's picks up a soft tissue injury. He could be a really nice antipod and just something to get you on the right foot at the start.
Mitchell Moses is probably higher than I thought he would be on the most popular list. You can look at this in a couple of different ways. First of all, Lomax has left, so he's picked up the goal-kicking duty. Sensational. That's an extra 10 or 12 points per game. His average itself was pretty low as well last season, so we're expecting an improvement given how many injuries he had last year, plus how bad Parramatta were for most of the year before coming good at the end of the season. But his schedule is pretty tough to start the year. And the other thing is that the halves position is so stacked this year. How many guns can you carry there?
Yeah, well, I'll start off by saying that I do actually like Mitchell Moses this year. The fact that he is underpriced and is picking up the goal kicking, and hopefully he's put his injury woes behind him. But like you said, his start to the season is so bad that I think he's someone that I'll be targeting mid to late in the season. Just to upgrade one of the many cheapy halves that you have available to a gun. And so I do like him, but he's not someone that I would even consider starting the season with. But I do think he's a good upgrade target for later on in the season.
Yeah, I agree with Will. So a couple of weeks ago, I had him in my team, just, not looking at the draw or anything, but they play Melbourne in the first game, and then I think they play Penrith not too long after that. So, yeah, he's definitely an avoid for me.
On to Kalyn Ponga, very popular. Purely looking at the stats here, is essentially 20 points, is at a discount of 20 points per game from his last season. That's, of course, because he carried that foot injury a little bit last season. It ended his season. They've got a new coach at the Knights. Their attack was so bad last year. Hopefully it improves. Hopefully he has the kicking. He's a good chance to, but Sand and Smith could take that off him. I am very, very tempted by Kalyn Ponga, but I've gone with my pod, Scott Drinkwater, right now.
Yeah, it's hard to really say any negatives for Kalyn except for an underwhelming 2025. The year before that, he was clearly the best Supercoach player in the game. He's someone that, if you start with, you can probably win your league, especially if you get it right early, when some people avoid him. But it seems like he's so highly popular at the moment, so you could definitely avoid him because of how many people are flocking towards him. I'm with you, saying I still definitely prefer Scott Drinkwater.
I think the fact that he's coming back from a foot injury as well, I'm not sure if it is his kicking foot, but that could have something to do with him not kicking as well. So it's just like a small red flag. But generally, I do like him, but I think I prefer Drinkwater.
We don't know how the Knights are going to line up, but one thing that could spike this is if Sandon Smith, the new recruit, plays halfback, and then they've got Dylan Brown at 5'8", Fletcher Sharp, not sure where he played, might be on the wing. That would spike this trade because Sandon Smith could easily kick ahead of Kalyn Ponga. His record in the NRL is significantly better. At the percentage, it's about 5 or 6% better at kicking for goal. So if he's starting at halfback, he could easily kick goals. If he's playing as a bench utility, then he probably doesn't pick goals, and you're pretty safe with Ponga. On to Cameron Murray. I reckon he's discounted by about 100K after his Achilles injury last year. So he's going to be hard to leave out.
Yeah, no, agreed. He's probably, in terms of being underpriced, if he can get back to his best, he's probably the best value for money player in the game at the moment, arguably him and Fafita. So I think both are must-haves, and I've actually gone quite cheap in my back row this year just because I've got Murray and Fafita in there. So I think Cam Murray, if he could, he's coming back from injury, a serious injury, so it might take him a while to get going. But if he can get back to the form from the previous year, I think he is one of the most underpriced players in the game.
I'll tell you what, a lot of super coaches are banking on the Rabbitohs going well because Fafita, Cameron Murray, Latrell, all ridiculously popular. There's a couple of others as well. Kalyn Ponga is really high. Well. Brandon Smith, very popular. So, it always seems to happen. The team that goes really bad the season before has all the cheap players. And we hope for an improvement. Your thoughts?
Everyone's saying Cam Murray's, returning off a lengthy injury, which he is. But he was good to return at the back end of the year. But there was just no point. So he's had a full pre-season. He's going to be rock hard fit coming into this year. I think he'll play a big minute roll out of the gates, and he's lock and load in my team.
Brian To'o, I'm again a little bit shocked that he is so high. I can see it because he averaged 70 the season before and only 61 last year. He was carrying an injury, I reckon, for the entire season. Hamstrings were dodgy. His knee was dodgy at points. So if he is fit and firing, then yes, theoretically, he should improve on what he did last year, which was pretty good what he did last year, to be honest. Having said that, has anyone looked at the Panthers' schedule to start the year? I don't see Brian To'o scoring that many tries, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've got him in my team at the moment, but he's someone that is in my team that I'm not sold on completely yet. The main reason I've got him in is just that I do think he is underpriced, and he's probably, in terms of base stats, one of the most reliable centre wing options in the game. But yeah, I'm not completely sold on it. He might be someone that I end up trading out and look to bring in later on in the year. But I want to have a bunch of gun centre wings to start the year, and so I've got him in at the moment.
Yeah, I don't have Toto in my team. He's got that tough run, as you said, and as it softens up, they sort of come into that origin period, so he'll be on state of origin duties for most of that. So he's probably going to be traded in at some point this year, but it won't be for a while.
Thoughts on Jacob Kiraz? He's obviously a Supercoach gun, base stat beast, gets some decent tries there on the end of the Bulldogs backline as well. The issue I've got, buy in round 2 is not ideal.
Yeah, I've got Kiraz at the moment as well, mostly because I just can't afford Herbie. And I do like him. He sort of similar to To'o. He's got the base stat and really high ceiling as well. But the buy in round 2 does hurt. But I've still got him in my team at the moment.
There's a buy in round 2, but everyone's saying that they're spending up in centre wing. So we're not going to be short on options anyway.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be scared of the buy at all. I think he's the number 1 option at that price. Herbie's about 100k more expensive than him. The only problem with Kiraz is his health concerns. He can't stay on the field for that long, but if he does, he's one of the best players in Supercoach.
Yeah, well, Phil Gould said last year that he's going to carry a back issue for the rest of his career, which is obviously not ideal.
Alarming.
So he could get arrested at any stage. And the way he throws his way around, like, there's no wonder he's got back issues, to be honest. But his schedule is actually really good, except for that bye. So if you know you're going to cop that hit in round 2 and you've got him covered, then I think he is a decent option, and he's currently in my team. Speaking of CTWs, Herbie is next on the list. I like it. The Dolphins have the best bye schedule of any team in terms of that they play all the big Origin rounds. Herbie won't play Origin because he plays for England, so he will play all 3 big Origin rounds, which is huge for Supercoach. An early buy in round 6 isn't ideal, but you can deal with that. I think Herbie from the start, just get him now, hold him for the rest of the season. Thoughts?
I don't have Herbie. I just find it so disgusting going for a centre that doesn't kick goals at 850. I know he was so good last year, and he was one of the best players in Supercoach, but it just breaks all my rules in Supercoach, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, he is probably the best centre wing in the game, and will probably finish the year as the top centre wing in the game, but he's just so expensive that I can't, even though I want to go big at centre wing, I just can't justify spending that much to start the year. So I'm hoping he has a bit of a rough start, drop some cash, and then get him in.
Reece Walsh, I thought that he would be pretty high after his premiership winning year at the Broncos, and he is relatively high, the 9th most popular gun in Supercoach. The numbers on him are pretty incredible. So the final 7 games, including Supercoach finals, he averaged 135 for Supercoach, but his price is based on an average of 85. So could be a little bit under, but fullback is so stacked, I can't fit him in.
Yeah, won't kick goals as well. Kick goals for a lot of that run when Adam Reynolds was out injured. But it's hard to knock Reece except for all the options at fullback. And as much as I love him, he won't be in my team at the start of the year.
Yeah, I obviously he finished the year on fire, and his ceiling is insanely high, but I think he is a bit inconsistent, so there is some risk there. And like I was saying before, I think I just prefer Scott Drinkwater, and then obviously with Keanu Kinney and Su'Afalonga, as underpriced as they are, they're like basically must-haves. So for me, he's just not someone I'm really considering at this time.
Terrell May is 10th. He's got the buy in round 1. I just don't see why people would do this with the buy. But what do you reckon? You just got rid of him.
Obviously, I like Terrell May. I think his floor is even actually higher than Payne Haas's. But obviously, just the round 1 buy just hurts so much. You're just starting the season just a little bit behind. So I really like him, but I think with the gun props that we have, I think there's better options to start the year.
Who cares about the round 1 buy? Everyone has a buy at some stage.
Yeah.
We're all going to cop them. Like, if it's a round 1, you're going to have players that score big anyway. But I went round 1 by last year on Fafita and didn't work out for me though.
So did I. Yeah. So coming from a place of knowledge in terms of picking guys out of the round 1 by. Nathan Cleary, I do not get this. Their schedule is so ridiculously hard. If you haven't looked at it, it is not just the worst schedule in the competition, it is by far the worst schedule in the competition. Basically, every game for the first 6 to 8 weeks is an absolute blockbuster. So I see Cleary's price coming down, and then you can pick him up, let's say, round 7 at a bit of a bargain. And and have him for a few weeks and make a decision around Origin. A lot of chat that he won't even make Origin because his style is not suited. He loves the structure, and they need someone like Mitch Moses in there. You're shaking your head.
Yeah, if whoever says that doesn't watch enough rugby
people
league.
who are saying it, like Matty Johns and Andrew Johns.
Yeah, but everyone's got to have an opinion in media these days. So.
Yeah, Cleary, I'm with you. With as hard as his schedule is, you have to, I think, go forward with the assumption that he's going to drop significant cash at the start of the season, and we've got a ton of good cheapy options in the halves this year. So I think it just makes sense that you don't start with Cleary and go with some of the cheapies and then look to upgrade after Cleary has dropped some cash. If he doesn't play Origin, that would be massive for Supercoach because you could just run with arguably the best halfback in the game through the Origin period.
Which would be huge. Some part of me hopes that happens and New South Wales still win. Kalyn Ponga we've gone through, and Harry Grant are next on the list, but we'll go to Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. News last week came out that he had a minor knee clean out, plus the Ashes. So you look at his off season, hasn't been great. He's still going to play round one, probably plays a trial, maybe 2 trials. So it doesn't affect him too much, but still, when you hear that sort of stuff and you're paying that much money, it's enough for me to say, no Tino for me this year.
Yeah, it's
to start.
I agree. It's enough doubt there just to write him off for the start of the year. He's someone that I think you want in your team at some point. But like I was saying, I've gone pretty cheap at back row at the moment, so he's someone that I haven't really considered. But obviously, I think he's a great talent and someone I'd want in my team at some point.
Yeah, he's lost his dual positioning this year as well.
Yeah, that's what's tough for me. I like having Tino at the front row forward, but I've never really liked having him at back row. I like to keep a bit more flexibility, but yeah, with that knee sort of clean out, it just scares me off him.
Tom Trbojevic, I think, I always say this, that my Tom Trbojevic days are over. I'm done with Tom Trbojevic, and then he's always just there staring me in the face. I don't think I can do it this year. The good news is that it looks like he will play fullback to start the season, which is where you want him to play. If he's playing centre, don't go near him. My ideal scenario on Turbo is that he plays 6 weeks at centre, goes down in price, moves back to fullback, and we pick him up for a bargain.
I traded him in 3 times last year.
I think I did too.
Yeah, but when he's on, and there's not many people that can go with him. But as we say with Reece Walsh, there's just so many options at fullback, and he didn't get that centre wing that most of us were sort of hoping when he played a few games there. But, he's going to play fullback. Lehigh's back on the wing, so I couldn't go there.
Yeah, and I think with Jamal, I do like Jamal Fogarty coming into Manly, but with Daly Cherry Evans gone, I think Tom's role in the team, he's going to have to step up quite a bit, which makes me scared of potential injuries creeping in if he is having to step up a bit. So there's just some doubts there, and I'll sleep better at night watching him play for Manly and him not being in my Supercoach team.
Yes. Cameron Munster, I really like his schedule to start. It's the same with Harry Grant, really, for me. I was against them because of the short preseason, but you look at the schedule, you look that they've lost Pappenhausen, they've lost a whole bunch of forwards. I think it's going to be the Harry Grant and Munster show to start the year. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, you look at the 5'8" as well. It's pretty bare at the moment. There's Jonah Pezzett, who's an obvious lock-in, but outside of that, there's not many obvious options, and Cameron Munster he's just staring you right in the face. So he can be a slow starter, as we know, and he can go big against the big teams and go bad against the small teams, but it's hard to go against him with the lack of options.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Pezzett is basically a must-have, and the rest of the 5'8" position, like you said, is pretty bleak. So I think he's the clear standout there.
James Tedesco. So the top scorer from last year is actually a pod, really, for Supercoach this year. Obviously, he's the most expensive player in the game because he was the best player last year. Look, I can't quite fit him in. You've got Suafa'alongo, Keano Kinney, who are close to musts. Then you've got one other slot, fullback, assuming you have a fullback at flex as well. So no room for Teddy for me.
I'll say this every year and it just bites me in the face. He's another year older, all those miles on the legs, and then he just knocks you out just a great season. So I can't knock anyone that grabs Teddy, but he's just too expensive for me.
Yeah, I like him, but I think he is expensive, and I sort of want to get a sense of what the Roosters' attack looks like with Daly Cherry-Evans there now. I think their attack is still going to be good, but I just want to see what it actually looks like. And, maybe he takes a bit more ownership over the team and Teddy steps back a little bit, because he has really been sort of carrying them for the last few years. And I think I just want to wait and see on Teddy.
Interesting point you make, and it links into these next two last players on the list, Angus Crichton and Mark Nawaqanitawase. Now, Angus Crichton, he's on the left, isn't he? So he's going to be getting fed by Sam Walker, not by Daly Cherry-Evans. I can see why people are on, because only averaged 62 last year compared to 78 the year before. That year before was like his best ever season by so far, in both actual NRL and sort of in Supercoach as well. He was just so good that year. One of the best seasons we've ever seen from a forward, I think, ever. Certainly in my lifetime. So we're not going to see that again. Angus Crichton, he is cut price, but do you go him this year?
I definitely could go him. He's pretty cheap at about 600 for what we know he can do. Also last year, the halves were chopping and changing because Sam Walker was obviously coming back from injury early on. They've had a full pre-season with Sammy Walker and Crichton there. I think they're going to be on. You could even stack them both together, but I think he's a great option.
I like him, but I think I had him for a lot of last year based off the 2024 season, which I think we can say now was a bit of an outlier. So I was a bit disappointed with him last year, so I don't think I'll actually be going with him again this year.
And Mark Nawaqanitawase, people are stacking centre wing. Should stay on the wing this season, which I think is a plus. His average was slightly better at wing compared to centre last year. He's on DCE's side, which is probably good, but we don't really know yet, do we?
Struggled to get in the ball at times last year as well, when it seemed like their only chance of winning games was giving him the ball early. So Cherry-Evans isn't going to make that mistake. He's one of the most seasoned veteran halves in the game. So when they're in trouble and they need an out, they'll give it to Mark like they did last year, and hopefully he'll do some magic like we know he can do.
Yeah, I think with Daly Cherry-Evans being there, his short kicking game could be really, really good for not just Mark Nawaqanitawase, but Daniel Tupou as well. So I think their attack is going to be good. Like I was saying with Teddy, I think I just want to wait and see. But Nawaqanitawase is very, very tempting. He's probably got one of the highest ceilings in the game, but his base is not there. So I've sort of been tossing up between him and Kiraz, and I think I've been leaning more Kiraz at the moment. But he's tempting.
All right, for our final segment of the podcast, we're going to run with a left field gun or a pod point of difference gun, if you like. Jett Hatton's always got, I assume you've got about 7 or 8 names for this segment.
I do actually, yeah.
Yeah,
one of them, if their run wasn't so tough early, I'd lock him in. That's Isaiah Ongi. I think he's just a superstar. He averaged 65 as a rookie last year. And we've seen over these last few years, these second-year fullbacks just explode, like Keanu Kinney a few years ago. No, like Reece Walsh. I think he's going to be one of those guys that has a really stellar season. We'll be with Mitch Moses. Mitch Moses was, in and out of the team with injuries last year. He had a really strong finish to the year last year. I think he only scored under 60 once for the last couple of games. I could really go in, but just that run early has got me sort of half-guessed myself. The other guy who I'm probably going to go with to start the year is Ozay Katoa. Everyone's going Mitch Moses, Nathan Cleary. He's 4 out of his first games he plays South, Newcastle, West Tigers and the Gold Coast. And he's only a young player. He's only going to get better. I think he's going to play for New South Wales as well, but that's a completely different thing. But we saw in his rookie season that he was good, but he wasn't putting SuperCoach points on the thing. And everyone was sort of thinking last year, he's a good player, but he doesn't score SuperCoach points. But he did that last year. He ticked that box, so I think I could go in.
Yeah. I've actually got a few names as well. Top of my list is Hudson Young, who actually finished the year last year as the top scoring second rower. But he's, we just went through all the top guns and he's nowhere on the list. So obviously they've lost Jamal Fogarty, so you've got to assume, and they'll have a rookie halfback in, still up in the air who that actually will be. So you've got to assume that there's a little bit of regression, but it's, I don't know, just interesting to see that the top second rower on last year is not being considered really at all.
Yeah, no one's keen on him at all. My top guy is my left field guy rather, Stephen Crichton. I liked when he was playing fullback last year, and they, when they were in attack and down in the other team's end, they'd often chuck him at fullback. He'd defend at centre, which makes sense because he's the best defensive centre going around. But then he'd play a little bit of fullback, and I really like that. Hopefully, I think he will be getting a lot of reps at fullback at the Bulldogs over the preseason. So if we see that he is essentially playing that hybrid fullback and centre role, plus has the goal kicking, I think he could go from averaging 61 last year, which is on the borderline of being acceptable at centre wing, to going up into that gun status this year.
Yeah, totally agree.
I'd be surprised if he played that role for the whole year because it's a lot of strain on his body to run both sides of the field in fullback. I think they did it last year going into finals as a sort of secret weapon thing, and it'd just cook his body if they did that for the whole year. So I wouldn't be surprised if for most of the year he just played centre. Yep.
There's some chat Matt Burton might play fullback too, which would be interesting.
I just wanted to see Matt Burton at fullback. Yeah. He's got the perfect body type for it, and
it would be fascinating.
Yeah.
There's going to be people are going to change position. There's going to be stuff happen at the Bulldogs this year because they've got Mitchell Woods, the young half, coming through. They've got Galvin playing at halfback now, who probably is a 5'8". They've got Burton potentially playing out of position. They were swinging Stephen Crichton from fullback to centre last year. Something's going to give there. We're going to see some interesting stuff at the Dogs. So keep an eye on that. Any other guys, left field blokes that you're looking out for in the gun category?
I had Ethan Strange written down as well.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah. Particularly for draft, I've got an eye on him.
Yeah, he's probably got the highest ceiling of any 5'8" in the game. I think last year he went for 140 maybe 2 or 3 times. So, and the Raiders are, the reigning minor premiers, so they're not a bottom-feeder team like we all thought they were going into this last year.
Just on him, he kicked 5 goals last year from 5 attempts at 100%. They don't have a goal kicker for this year.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So, most people are saying it'll be Ethan Sanders, the rookie halfback, or if Kobe Black plays, it'll be him. But you look at the purely on the stats, and Ethan Strange could get it. Kyo Weeks could get it. Who knows? I think that goal kicking spot at the Raiders is completely up in the air. And if Strange was to get it, that'd be huge.
I should have asked my man Jared Croker up at Magic
Yes,
last
you should,
year.
absolutely
I
should.
didn't even think of that. Yeah, I was too busy getting Jamal Fogarty chat off him.
We were talking before about how bleak 5'8" is. If it came out that he was kicking goals as well, he suddenly becomes very, very enticing.
He's a clean up one option if he's kicking goals. Yeah.
I've also looked at his lower grade stuff, and he hasn't kicked that many goals in lower grades. So look, it's a what if. Let's hope it happens kind of thing that I'm just throwing out. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Anyone else?
I think Val Holmes is someone I have toyed with as well. I think just because I want to go big at centre wing, and he is I'm not too sure what the Dragons are going to be like this year. My expectations aren't super high, but he is a goal kicking centre that is pretty reliable. So he's someone I've been toying with, but currently don't have in my team.
Yeah, he just needs to learn how to kick goals at Wynn Stadium, where he cannot kick with the wind.
Yeah, he's terrible.
His goal kicking percentage went from like 85 to 75 at the Dragons. I think mainly just because he can't kick at Wynn Stadium.
Yeah, well, everyone was bagging Zach Lomax when he couldn't kick a goal at the Dragons, but it's because I don't think anyone can kick goals at Wynn Stadium.
Tough place to kick. We've got some questions that came through today before we finish the show. Hot Dot is saying we should make Tom Dearden dual. I really think that he's now a halfback. He killed it in Origin. He won the Wally Lewis medal, didn't he, at halfback? So he really is a halfback now. So, look, we've got halfback for now. If he does play some 5'8", we can change it. We can change it before round 1. We can change it at round 6, 12, 18.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's some mail that he could end up shifting and who is it?
Purdue.
Yeah.
Purdue or Clifford.
Yeah, one of them could end up. But I think from what we saw last year, I think he solidified himself in that number 7 jersey.
He's made the switch now.
I think it makes sense how we've got him at the moment.
Next question is from Steve. He's saying, have you ever considered, as well as captain being double points, to include vice captain as 1.5 points to cease the captaincy loophole? Thoughts on that?
Nah.
Kind of piqued my interest a little bit.
I like the loophole.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks when it happens against you and you lose your head-to-head because of it, but I think it's good.
It also goes against the actual reason why the vice captaincy is there in the first place, which is for a backup, essentially as an emergency if your captain does get injured. So yeah, I mean, it just did pique my interest. It's not the worst idea.
I'm a traditionalist though, so that's why I don't know.
You just don't want. You hate change.
I just like how the game is. So. Yeah.
And Taylor is asking. I'm thinking Dave Fifita's minutes. Dave Fifita, very popular, second most popular player in the game. We'll get to him next week in the mid-ranges episode. But Taylor's saying, I'm thinking Fifita's minutes might be reduced. They have way too many back rows to feed at the Rabbitohs. Thoughts?
Yeah, they've got Ewan Aitken. They've got Talis Duncan as well, who's killing it. He looks so fitted in the preseason though. Some of the videos of him playing touch footy and stuff like that just looks awesome. But I think Wayne will use him to the fullest.
One of my big issues with Fifita was the fitness, and he started the preseason slowly. He was still working back from an ankle or foot injury.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
But if you've seen that video that we've posted to our socials recently, he doesn't look injured at all. He looks very good.
Point to prove as well.
I think they went out of their way to sign him as well. And so, maybe as he's coming back from that injury, he gets eased into the season, but I think they're going to use him.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he's going to play 80 minutes, but I think he plays probably 55 at least, which is good enough for me.
He's a player that doesn't need to play 80 minutes to score 100 points in Supercoach anyway. So
big time. So that is it for our Guns podcast. Check out the Cheapy Bible from last week. Next week, we'll be doing the Mid-Range Bible. We'll catch you then.